What's going on, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge nightly live show. Joined by Hunter right now as it's Tuesday night, which means Jeremy will be a little bit late as usual on a Tuesday. But how's everybody joining tonight? I see a lot of y'all already in here in the chat talking it up. Mark is wanting a couple of Jeremy Yell sessions. Jay to interrupt Jeremy a few times, and why not a Jackson call in? So we'll see if we can make that happen tonight, Mark, for you. But
you'll probably get all of that in about 30 minutes.
Hunter, how are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I'm still enjoying this Eagles Super Bowl, man. It's great. I think it's a start of a dynasty, and I'm happy to see it.
We'll see. What's up, everybody? What's up, Johnny Boy? Hey, Steve, starting off with a question. Hey, guys. What are you hearing about winter workouts? How's material fitting in, etc.? Winter workouts are going as winter workouts usually go, which are good because that's all you really ever hear is good stuff. But material, I think fitting in wise, it's hard to tell right now. But as far as leadership, I see it kind of similar to when Dylan Gabriel came in, Hunter. When he came in, he had his OC there. It's kind of the same situation. Everybody knows Material's the guy. He's probably leading them in drills and stuff like that. So I think everything's good on that part.
I think that's a very good comparison, especially with the coach and all that. And I also think at the same time is the ceiling for Mateer is going to be higher because of what you saw. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, great quarterback, a very, very good college quarterback, and one that I think a lot of people should be happy to have. If they were fortunate enough to have him throughout his college career, but I think the ceiling with Mateer is significantly higher.
Yeah. Hey, Jenna, how are you tonight? Hey, let's get to it because I see a lot of people talking about it. Obviously, the news today, everybody saw it, unless you were not on Twitter or didn't hear anything. But DeMarco Murray, per On3 and Pete Nakos, was reportedly interviewing for the Penn State job, interviewed for it. But then later this evening, I believe OU Insider may have put it out on Twitter. Parker Thune put out that he's staying at Oklahoma. Now, I don't, until I hear that it's something for sure has happened either way, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know. The fact of the matter is he interviewed for another job. Whether he takes it or not, or whether he gets it, I don't know. But that right there should tell you something. Right?
Yeah. I have a good friend who Penn State alum, big Penn State fan. I texted him about it of just a heads up of how OU fans would feel if that were to happen. They'd be pretty happy. And he replied back with, it's kind of the same on the Penn State message boards because just about every Penn State fan is also an Eagles fan. So they hate DeMarco Murray because of how that whole thing went down about 8 years ago up in Philly.
Well, and Hunter, here's the thing. From what I've kind of understood and put together based on Twitter and different things, is they interviewed Stan Drayton and they've interviewed DeMarco Murray. Now, Stan Drayton he's from the area. He's also from that area a little bit. So,
and was recently in the area at Temple. I don't get how Stan Drayton, it's February 11th, and he still doesn't have a job. I personally, I've said it a lot, dating back to November. I don't know why he was fired at Temple. It really didn't give him time there as a head coach, and that's a tough place to win. I mean, it is a very tough place to win, one of those lower-level college football mid-majors.
Tough.
If you're trying to turn everything around, you got to give him more than 3 years, I think, there. And they gave him 2.5, and he's out the door. I don't know why somebody hasn't scooped him up already.
Well,
it's crazy because he was such a good running back coach before he got that head coaching opportunity. Everything he did from the NFL to at Texas as coaching running backs. I mean, it was impressive. So, yeah, if they were to hire Drayton, that would be, I think, a home run hire. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. He wouldn't be moving far, familiar with that area, especially in recruiting circles as well, being at Temple the last few years.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if he, I don't know the whole DeMarco Murray situation, but the fact that he interviewed at Penn State, I got to tell you something. I mean, I don't know if that was him reaching out. If they, who knows on it, but it is kind of interesting. And the other thing is this: we know this. DeMarco Murray made, I believe, 825,000 last year. I think he's scheduled to make 850K this year, which puts him at third overall in the country as far as running back coach. So if he were to go somewhere else, either A, somebody's paying up a lot of money, or B, he's going for a pay cut because it's going to be tough to pay what he's getting at OU. So the whole thing's interesting to me. I don't know what's going to happen if he's looking to get it. I don't know. It's weird. I'm sure. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm positive. I'm 1,000%, 1,000,000% positive. Jeremy will have an opinion on this when he gets on here in a little bit, because we were on phone calls today. We were on text threads, and yeah, he's got some opinions on it. So that'll be interesting when he joins. 918 says, is this an interview? Reports indicate that Murray has had multiple conversations with Franklin and Penn State about replacing former running backs coach one who departed for Notre Dame. Listen, I know the word interview is weird, but to me, it's this. If you're having a conversation, that's technically, in my opinion, you're interviewing.
I disagree, but
why, Hunter?
I think it's like just.
So you're saying Murray's reaching out, or they reached out to Murray?
I don't know which way it went. I mean, I've been busy all day. I haven't read that article from On3 that initially wrote the story that there was something going on, conversations with Franklin, and Penn State, as the 918 said in that comment. So I wouldn't call it an interview. I think an interview is more formal and would lead to an
I don't think they said if they quote interviewed or conversation. Do you? I'd have to go look at the article because I don't know how they worded it in there. But Hunter, 850K, correct, for Murray this coming year?
It's correct. It's
correct.
A lot of money for a position group that I think a lot of people would agree there's a lot to be desired there, particularly in the rotation area. I mean, just some head scratchers. I haven't been able to figure it out the last couple of years until midway through the season. I mean, even this last year, it felt like throughout the season, like Javonte Barnes was great, but then, I mean, you look at game 10, fourth quarter, you watch Xavier Robinson and you wonder, why was he not playing early on?
Yeah.
Because I mean, personally watching it, I don't think it's just it clicked right there, week 10, fourth quarter on the road in Missouri. That's when it all clicked for him. No, I think he was probably doing that quite a bit in practice and all that. So not there, but I don't know why he wasn't playing.
The whole thing's good, though. It's a weird deal. The whole thing.
It is.
I mean, the whole thing is weird. And we talked about this right in the opening, Jen. The OU insider came out and said he was staying. But here's the deal. It makes you wonder, like, if he was talking to Ohio State or to Penn State, I'd be interested to know what that means, right? I mean, what's the reason?
I do know one thing of what it means is, wow, that is a great running back room. Whoever takes that job is going to be coaching.
Oh, they're set.
Singleton and Allen. I mean, you can make the argument with now at Ohio State with Judkins and Henderson going pro that's the best running back room in America.
Yeah, and like I said earlier on the Murray stuff, I'll believe anything when I see what the announcement comes out and says. I mean,
and Steve, real quick, I will give them Barnes didn't never play again as a move by DeMarco Murray or any of the coaches. He got injured in that main game. If you guys remember, he got injured in the middle of the game, came out, was able to tough it out and continue on with a phenomenal performance. But after that, wasn't able to get healthy the rest of the year. So that was not a coaching issue at all. That was just unfortunate injury again for Javonte Barnes that really hindered a really good year that he had.
Yeah, Benji, thanks for joining tonight. Says Sooner fans want to keep Murray or want him to walk. I think you got a mixed bag. I really do. I think you got some. I think majority right now are leaning on they'd rather him not be at Oklahoma.
I
Just
think
based
it's
on
a
what I'm hearing.
majority would not at all be upset if DeMarco Murray were to take another job, either at the college or the NFL level. Then I think there's also the people that are opposed in terms of worrying about, okay, does that mean guys are going to be leaving, particularly a few of the younger guys, or I mean, maybe even one of your starter or veteran backs that could be your starter. But I personally don't think anyone would be leaving to the point that it's like a major issue.
Now, Timothy Hunt says the ref said Penn State pursued him. Well, that if that's true, then I mean I don't know who said it on the ref, but I can believe that if that's what they said. But and like I said, I don't know. But Ben G is a Texas guy. Says I really keep Murray as well. I think you could do much better. Here's the question though, and we don't need to really spend a whole lot of time on this tonight. But I think the question would be, let's just say he doesn't go to Penn State. Penn State hires Stan Drayton, which I know me and you, Hunter, said that's the guy we would want at OU if Murray were to leave. So if Murray were to leave, who are you going to get to replace Murray? I mean, that's and who do you feel? It to me, it would probably be an Arbuckle guy. I bet. If I think it would be if they ended up having to replace Murray, I think Arbuckle would have a pretty good say in it.
Let me look at where their running back coach from last year.
Well, you had the guy that's at Utah, just took the job at Utah. But you also have his guy. He was a quality control assistant at Western Kentucky. And the guy that was their running back coach is at Ohio State now and is tearing it up. He's really good. But I don't think you could get him, obviously. So it would probably be the guy from Utah if you were going after a guy. He just went to Utah this year, I believe, Hunter. But, yeah, who knows? Joe John, people talking about Joe John in here, of course, every night we get that. That's fine. I mean, listening about another job doesn't necessarily mean anything if someone offers a job in any. Oh, and I agree with this Piper 202. I agree with you here. If Penn State reached out to Murray, it would be silly for him not to listen. And I say that about any job. And you're right. In my job, in any job, anybody on here, you're going to listen. Okay? The difference is in sports and in coaching jobs, you hear about it. Like, for instance, regular person job, you're not always going to hear that they're interviewing. You know what I mean? It's just more public in the coaching circles. Porter Moser, this is not a leverage play, I don't think. This is not. He's not getting another raise, in my opinion. I think this was just maybe Penn State reached out, was interested, and he decided, I don't know where Hunter went. He totally left. And I think DeMarco Murray listened, and sounds like he's staying at Oklahoma. So the running back coach at Georgia, been under Arbuckle before, right? Hunter was looking that up. Penn State only has a job open because Hassan's dad left Notre Dame for Raiders. Yeah. 918, Penn State's a good job for running back coach, though. And I think Drayton, if they get Drayton, I think it's a great hire. I think Drayton's a great hire. Maybe that was the fake Hunter. I don't know what was going on.
Apologies. My computer is like acting up bad. Like,
obviously,
it just crashed on me. It looks like I'm lagging. I can't really tell. Something about no memory. So not sure what's going on. Hopefully I can get that figured out.
Wow. Somebody, Ben said the running back coach at Georgia been under Arbuckle before. Now the guy, maybe so. I just know the guy at Utah who just went to Utah was the most recent guy, I believe, with Arbuckle, if I'm not mistaken. I think he just went to Utah this last year.
You're correct. Mark Ituia, maybe that's right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Took the job. That's what I was trying to look at, and then my computer crashed to see if running back coach or what coaches went to Wake Forest with Jake Dickert.
Yeah. So we'll see. It sounds like Murray's staying put for now. So we can probably squash it all. Now, who knows, though? May wake up tomorrow and something else happens. So I don't know. And I know when Jeremy joins in a minute, it's going to be we'll have his thoughts on it. So just be ready. He'll have his thoughts on this. DM headed to Timu, Ron says. Ron's always got some great stuff. Ron is hilarious tonight. He's got some funny ones. What else is going on, Hunter?
Not a whole lot.
It's weird that football season's over, like completely. NFL, college.
I'm so excited for college baseball, MLB season. College baseball starts on Friday. Catchers and pitchers, depending on the team, have already reported to spring training. So, yeah.
Baseball is hard for me. Do you know why?
Yeah, you can't watch 162. I get it, Jay.
It's the season's too long.
No,
and I like baseball.
It's not too long, though. It's not. What's the solution?
Should we do this, what KB says?
No. I've had a migraine today. I don't want to deal with any unnecessary yelling. I already know that he's, just from text messages today, that he's upset with me.
Yeah, you and him were kind of on.
I told him it was a very not good idea to start saying New Orleans when there's absolutely no connection or any sort of reason.
What do you think about Kellen Moore going to New Orleans? How you feeling about an Eagles fan? Did you hear who they're probably going to go after?
Who, the Eagles?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, I heard it today. I'm trying to remember who it is now. Big name. Golly, I'm drawing a blank now. Somebody will know it in the chat. It was all over Twitter.
I want Kevin Petula, who's been coaching quarterbacks, pass game coordinator for the last 4 years with Jalen Hurts, and that all has worked out great. Keeps the continuity. I think this Eagles offense you have the best O-line in the NFL. You have a top 3 wide receiver in A.J. Brown. You have another top 15 wide receiver in Devontae Smith. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Jalen Hurts. You have the best player in the world in Saquon Barkley. It's hard to screw that up. But I wanted Bobby Slowick. That was another name, but he got hired for a lesser role with the Miami Dolphins. So,
Sarge thinks Texas wins the softball national championship.
If I had to pick somebody right now, I'd pick Florida.
I would pick Florida too. But, I mean, other than OU. I mean, here's the thing. Ron talks about the bats. The bats, they had 13 home runs in that first weekend. But the thing is, they left a lot of runners on down the stretch there. But you know what? Softball is kind of similar when I say baseball. It's a long season, okay? You're not going to be playing your best ball right now. All that matters.
You shouldn't be playing your best ball right now. And fans shouldn't want that, because if that means you're playing the best ball of the year, you're playing it. I mean, for OU this year, they didn't go to Puerto Vallarta this year. They aren't doing the Mary Nutter. It means they're doing it against a bunch of mid-majors in California. It's not good. That's not where your end goal wants to be.
Baylor this weekend will be
this weekend is a good non-conference.
Yeah, it's a good test.
And it's nothing really bad. I think Long Beach State is a good team. Maybe they make a run at the tournament if they can win their conference. I mean, I want to know the last time Oklahoma got held for 10 innings without scoring a run. Had to have been a long time ago.
Yeah, that's
a lot of softball to not score a run. I mean, Oklahoma was 1 of 12 at one point with runners on base in that game. So that's a rarity. And then San Diego State that also gave Oklahoma some trouble as well. That's another good team that will make the tournament, maybe even host, or not host, but be one of those 2 seeds that can maybe give a host regional team some issues.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go and drop trivia tonight. I feel like dropping trivia right now. So the trivia question tonight is coming right up. Here we go. Before we do, though, make sure you check out the Fan Stop, www.thefanstop.com. You see the shirt there. That's for the March shirt. Now, to get the March shirt, you have to sign up by February 20th. That's the St. Patrick's Day green OU shirt. Make sure you sign up by February 20th. Use code SURGE. You get 10% off your first 3 months. Great officially licensed merchandise here at the Fan Stop. Here we go with the trivia question of the night. And this one's going to be interesting. I wonder how quick somebody's going to get this. But Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, MVP. Here's what I want to know. Who did the Pittsburgh Steelers draft instead of Jalen Hurts? They passed on Jalen Hurts, and they got this player. Who was it? Hunter, do you know this?
I'm kind of blanking, even though I just played a game today of guessing draft picks in the NFL for the last 10 years, quarterback draft picks.
Not Kenny Pickett. It's not a quarterback. I'll tell you that. It's not a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. The way you phrased it, I thought you were talking about.
It's not a quarterback.
You should have specified that from the beginning.
Why? I just said, who did they draft instead of Jalen Hurts?
You passed on Jalen Hurts. That sounds like
there it is, right there. Claypool.
And a lot of people were shocked with Jalen getting drafted in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, Howie, Jeff Lowry, they got criticized for that draft pick, and works out. Won Super Bowl MVP, and he's only 26 years old and done so much already.
Johnny boy, way to go. You get the point for the night. We'll update standings in a few days. It's a lot closer this month than it was last month because 918 absolutely destroyed everybody last month. So good job, Johnny boy.
This month, if you want me to go ahead and reveal that, I can.
Yeah, and Ben G, you're absolutely right. Claypool, at the beginning of his career, I thought was just going to be a stud receiver and tear it up in the NFL, but he hasn't. And I was with you. First and second year, I was like, okay, great.
It was really just that Steelers team at that time in general. I mean, that was a period where they were like 11-0 and all that, and then just fell off.
But they haven't got a quarterback since Ben left.
They haven't.
That's been their issue.
They should have kept Kenny Two Gloves, but
you think?
I think Kenny Pickett's a good quarterback. I think he's a great backup quarterback.
Backup, okay, but he's not a guy that's going to take you to the promised land, Hunter.
I mean, I think they need to give Justin Fields more of a chance. I think Justin Fields has the talent, just the development for him hasn't been there. It hasn't. Russell Wilson is old now. I mean, he's well past his prime. You saw it down the stretch with how they weren't able to find anything on offense. So,
let me see this. Where was it? Oh, Furkton here tonight. Wait, thanks for joining us, Furkton. I'm not Jeremy, so I will not talk in German like he does. He'll be on in a minute. He'll probably talk in German to you, Furkton, but I will not because I don't know German. Says, I wish Landry worked out. Landry was never going to work out, in my opinion. And hey, as an OU guy, he did great things at OU as far as stat-wise, but he's not the guy to make plays, I think, when you really – I mean, he could put up great numbers, but he's not going to be the starter that's going to take you to the playoffs and farther. That's just not his – I don't know. That's just the way I feel about him. I think he lacked a little bit of pocket presence, to be honest with you. I think that was his downfall. He had a great arm. He was pretty accurate. But he was – anytime you put any pressure around him or pocket collapsed, that was it. Game over. Game over. So kind of like me when I play Madden in College Football 25. By the way – if you have not signed up for the Sooner Surge College Football EA Sports 25 tournament, you have a few more days to sign up, and then I'm locking it up. I'm closing it, and then I'm putting the brackets out. We've got quite a few already in it. Email us, SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. Once again, SoonerSurgePod@gmail.com. Sign up. There will be a prize money on the line. Get into this. You'll want to be in it. And you'll want to try to take this guy down right here, Eric. Eric if we had to seed everybody based off what they say they are in College Football 25, Eric, you're the number one seed based off what you say and what everyone else says about you. So, but we'll figure that bracket out down the road. But sign up for it.
Is anyone arguing that, Eric? I mean, is there anyone really saying Baker Mayfield's a better NFL quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Oh, there's a lot of OU fans that would say that.
Bad take.
Hunter, there's a lot that will say it.
Hey, am I lagging or something?
No,
or
you're not lagging.
Okay, my computer, man, is.
Hey, I told you this the other day, Hunter, when I talked about Baker Mayfield and people ripped me. It doesn't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter. Baker Mayfield, to a lot of OU fans, he will be the GOAT no matter what.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, but you say it like it's an issue. Like it's an issue that many OU fans are also now Buccaneers fans because of Baker Mayfield. There's not an issue with that.
There's not an issue with guys liking him over Hurts.
I mean, liking and thinking he's a better quarterback.
No, I mean better player is what I'm saying.
Oh, thinking he's a better player. I mean, it's just flat out wrong. I mean, it's not true. Baker's been great. I mean, Pro Bowl quarterback now 2 years in a row for the Buccaneers, something that hasn't ever happened for them, which kind of wild to think about for the Buccaneers, but it's also not because they haven't been that good other than their 2 Super Bowls, one of which was with Tom Brady in the last one of the last go-arounds for the GOAT. So, Dave McCook, appreciate the $10
Thanks,
super
Dave.
every single night. And as Benjamin says, Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. Baker Mayfield is not. That ends the argument right there. And I think
at the same time, though, I would agree with Mark here. Mayfield is screwed himself.
I'm not saying he hasn't been good. Like Baker Mayfield is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I think Jalen Hurts is on a different level right now. There's always, like Dan Orlovsky has talked about it a lot. He's issued a lot of apologies the last couple of days on ESPN. Like there's always that people of like, oh, Jalen can't show up. He did. 2 biggest games of his career these past 2 weeks. Not only did he show up, he showed out. Like I don't know what else people want from him. Jordan did a great ad that they ran after the Super Bowl about love hurt and all that. I mean, Jalen Hurts has been doubted his entire career. He has proved everyone wrong.
You're right.
And time again, from Alabama to go to OU to how could the Eagles draft him in the 2nd round to now Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP.
Hey, by the way, he's been in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls against the Chiefs, by the way, and he's outplayed Mahomes in both of them.
Both times.
Both times. Let me say this. I would be the first one to admit it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that were dead wrong on Jalen Hurts as an NFL quarterback when he got drafted. I think there was a lot of people, even though he went to OU under Lincoln Riley and proved he could throw the ball, I think there was still a lot, me included, that thought in the NFL, I don't know if he's got the arm accuracy to do it.
It was more so, I think, the pocket presence more than anything.
And he's proven me wrong big time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he still struggles at times against the blitz, but that's, I mean, in the Super Bowl, that was the only moment that he had a bad read. And it was one play. I mean, Nick Bolton was right in his face. He threw a pick. Bad play. Other than that, he was perfect. Nothing else you can ask for out of your quarterback with his legs or in the air, kind of the dagger to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and 918's absolutely right here. It's the whole walk on everything about Baker Mayfield, like the buddy type. He's my guy. Like it's everything about Baker. Hurts did not have that aura that Baker Mayfield had. He did not.
I disagree. I think
you're wrong, Hunter.
Okay, I'm more so of associating themselves. I think people can relate to both players, though. As the 918 says, the walk-on story with Baker, but it's the same thing with Jalen Hurts. I mean, the guy took Alabama to the national championship, went there year 1, lost as a true freshman, takes them back. He gets benched. They end up winning the national championship, especially in today's day of age of transferring and all that. It was still a little bit ahead of where it really got widespread as it is, but the portal was really starting at that point. He stuck around, stays at Alabama, as Nick Saban says, continues to work, not giving up on the team, even though it's not going his way, comes in, wins the SEC championship for him, and then moves on to OU and does it all.
Same. Hunter,
It's
stop.
not the same. That's what I'm trying to get at is they're different situations, but everyone can relate to both of them, I think.
But you can't say that Jalen Hurts was an underdog story. He's he was big-time recruit, man.
Bitch, Jay. In the national championship.
Hey, Hunter, the other thing is this. I think you're missing Hunter, the other thing is this. I think you're missing my point.
I guess I am.
Yeah. The other thing is this. For OU fans, Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield are not the same. Jalen Hurts was there 1 year from Alabama. Okay. It's not the same. Okay? It's different. It's like OU fans claim Jalen Hurts, but they don't claim him like they do Baker Mayfield, okay? And they never will. It's different. It's just different, man. Slam the desk, Hunter. Come on now.
Slam the desk. I'll pass on that one.
There you go. Alabama did not want Baker. They wanted Jalen Hurts. They're not the same. That's right, Eric. I agree with you. So Hurts or Milroe? Come on now. Is that a question? Mark, can't be serious with that one.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl MVP. A lot better than Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Hey, Jalen Hurts is a walking quote machine. I mean, anything he says sounds cool. It's poster worthy. All of that.
He's great. I mean, he's very calm, cool, collected.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, and that's a little different thing about him and Baker Mayfield, too. Baker Mayfield, I think, would get me a lot more pumped up than Jalen Hurts if I was on the team. It's a little different. They're different. They're different.
They're different in that aspect. Yeah. I think they both are very good at those sort of things. Jalen's a lot more calmer, as you mentioned. Baker, a lot more almost a loose cannon at times with what he's going to say. Both are going to get everyone to want to play for.
But you know what? You know what? I'll say that both quarterbacks, and this can be true for both quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts, neither one of them are where they are today without what they had to go through. If Jalen Hurts doesn't get benched and do all that and transfer to OU, if Baker Mayfield doesn't walk on at Tech and then go walk on at OU, all that stuff, neither one of them, I think, are the quarterbacks they are today. I think that's both of those guys. So,
and that's what I was trying to get at about how people can relate to it. I mean, the adversity that Jalen faced and then the underdog story with Baker. And as Ray God said, yeah, they wouldn't be where they are without Lincoln Riley.
Hurts would not be, neither one of them would have been where they are without Lincoln Riley. You're right. But Hurts definitely wouldn't have got drafted as high as he did if he wouldn't have transferred and played under Riley. I mean,
he was at that point. He was maybe a 6th, 7th round pick, more so likely undrafted. Same things that 918 said. Told he couldn't throw, needed to switch to running back, all of that, and he plays with Lincoln Riley and proves that he can throw the football and can be an NFL quarterback. And he ended up being a 2nd round pick, and now the franchise guy for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Hey, let's open up the phone lines. I'll drop it in here. Phone lines will be open. You call in, give us a little conversation, whatever you like to talk about it. There it is right there. If you'd like to call in, there's the link. Give us a call, whatever you'd like to talk about. Yeah. Tom Brady's 7th rounder. I mean, yeah, exactly. He is a tough guy. And I don't know. I'm sure I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen tried to do the tush push. It doesn't work the same without Jalen Hurts and that alignment.
That's why everyone wants it banned.
It should be banned.
No,
I think.
It shouldn't.
Yes, it should.
Stop it.
I don't have to stop it. I can say that if I want to.
I mean, other teams can try to run it, and as you mentioned, they're not able to.
Why was it banned in college before?
I don't know. I don't think it should be.
I mean, the Eagles could run that play every time and get first down in 3 plays.
No, they can't. They're not getting 3. yards a play.
Oh, Hurts will get if Hurts hit it 4 times. Do you think he would get 10 yards in 4 plays?
Maybe once in a blue.
Oh, he would do it about.
Jay, there's been a lot of times that they've gotten stuffed on it. I mean, it's not a guarantee. There's a chance to stop it. It's happened against the Jaguars this year. Maybe that was really the only time this year that they got shut down. One point they got a penalty, opted to go for 2, half the distance, and they didn't get it after that.
Hey, Grey God, you can say soft all you want, but here's the deal, and here's my issue with it. I say ban it because you know why? On defense, you can't jump off sides at multiple times on that, or they throw a flag or say an automatic touchdown.
Okay.
That's soft. So why can't it be soft? I mean, why can't they just ban it?
Wait, how is that soft?
Oh, come on. They're just going to give the team the touchdown the week before because they kept jumping off sides. That's dumb.
I mean, you're not allowed to. Real quick, you're not allowed to jump off sides.
I don't mind the
rules,
sneak part of it. I don't like to being able to push the quarterback. I don't like that. That's just me. And I know a lot of people are disagreeing with me. I just don't like that. That's all. And that's fine. It's not going to change in the NFL. They're not going to change it. But it helped Hurts a ton to go to OU. Yes, correct. Correct. I think Jeremy's getting ready to join us. Phone lines are open. The link is there. What else, Hunter? Anything else on your mind tonight?
Not a whole lot, man.
It's going to be a long off season, man.
It is.
Hey, by the way, I meant to mention this earlier because I know there's some Texas people on here. Saw a lot of stuff on Twitter today. I guess Texas fans are not happy with basketball program and coach Rodney Terry.
They want Rodney Terry fired.
They want Rodney Terry out. And they're complaining some about the same stuff OU is about the crowd support. It's just no excitement there. There's no energy. They want him
to have a good arena. The Moody Center is.
They're going to be 4-8 now. What's that?
Is it the Moody Center or was that the old arena? I don't know. Whatever the new one is.
Irwin Center was the
Moody Center is the new one.
Yeah. And Sergeant Jeremy getting out of the Soul Mission mean correct. I
need to take that one off the stream, man.
Why? It was funny. It was funny, Hunter.
He won't like that one.
I know. Jess, yes, we want Rodney gone. Benji, Texas fan. So, Hunter, you're soft, Hunter.
I'm soft. Okay.
Yeah, come on now. They're just playing jokes. No, it's good though. Jerm is at the Bible study and probably getting ready to join on any second now. So he'll be joining us.
Women's basketball at Texas, as Benji mentions.
Did they end up beating South Carolina?
Yeah, they upset South Carolina. So.
Yeah, they were ahead when I turned it off third quarter, I believe. Hey, I got, basketball wise, I would like to see basketball go to 4 quarters in men's instead of 2 halves.
I agree. It's the dumb.
Make it more like the NBA.
And more like the NBA for one. 2, from a TV timeout standpoint, it's a lot better. I hate the every 4-minute media timeout.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've worked both men's college basketball and women's college basketball for broadcast, and the women's games I think are better on the fact of, you really have that one media timeout in it in each quarter, and then at the end of quarters, it's a lot more smoother than that every 4 minutes type of thing. It just, I don't like it. I don't. There's no reason for it to be 4 quarters in every other level of basketball
except college.
Except for college,
right?
It's backwards. It doesn't make any sense.
It is. You play 4 quarters growing up, and you get to college and you play 2 halves. It's dumb. Go with 4 quarters. Hey, Hunter, I know I mentioned last night about the athletic director situation, and I was going to do a deep dive. I did a little bit of a diving last night.
There you go.
Talked to KB a little bit.
Did you jump into the kiddie pool, Jay, or
what?
You said a little bit of a diving?
Ocean, man. DeLoss Dodds, very comparable when he was at Texas. As far as Joe C at OU, been there a long time. But I went and looked at current athletic directors at the big-time schools. You can start naming the schools. There's only really one off the top of my head that I looked at that's been there a long time, and that's Oregon. He's been there quite a while. A lot of the other ones, Notre Dame, Ohio State, I mean, you can go down the list, Georgia, like 2016 or 17 is like as far back as some of those schools go. And I bring it up because we talked about it a little bit last night. The game has changed so much. And athletic director job has changed a lot. I mean, it just has.
I was talking to somebody about it tonight in just everything in college athletics. It's so different.
It's so different.
That's why you're seeing people that were so highly respected and so successful for as long as they were now seem like they're almost struggling because it's a completely different
game.
Fear, sport, everything about it is now different, and it's a lot to adjust to.
Yeah. Jerm, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Nothing. I assume all the talk's been about DeMarco Murray. Is that correct?
Just for the first part of it, but I mean, OU Insider came out this evening and said, says he's staying.
For now, yes. For now, I guess.
Who knows? That's the question. I knew you'd have some thoughts about this, so give us your thoughts, Jerm.
My thoughts are, I don't even know what all I'm going to say. I don't know what all I'm going to say about it, Jay, because I don't know what all you guys have covered on it. But I'm going to say this to start, and if you say I'm wrong, I don't know how you can say I'm wrong. On this. I don't know how you can say I'm wrong on this.
You're probably wrong.
I said this two nights. I said this 2 nights ago, and I basically got laughed at.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I'm about to say, Hunter. So don't interrupt. You cannot sit here and say that DeMarco Murray is totally in love with his job right now. Just can't.
Okay. With that being said, what if Penn State asked to talk to him and he said, "No, I'm happy at OU"? Does that change?
Jay, if that happened, he wouldn't have been a candidate. He wouldn't have been a candidate.
No. Listen, Jeremy. If they said, "Hey, DeMarco, let's talk to you. We want to see if you're interested. Engage your interest in this job at Penn State." And he says, "No, I'm happy where I'm at." Does that mean he's not happy at OU? I'm confused.
No, he wouldn't have been a candidate then.
No, Jerm, real quick.
He's not a candidate, Jay. If I don't put my name in the ballot, I'm not a candidate, bud. That's not how it works.
First off, he didn't. The article never said the term interview.
It's a candidate, Hunter. Hey, Hunter, go look, Jay. Look up candidate. What's the definition?
Jeremy, I have a question for you. What makes you think that he is not happy at OU?
Okay, I'll say this again.
Hey, real quick.
Look. What?
KB, I think maybe onto something here, and maybe this is what Jeremy's going to go.
What I was going to say is last year he went towards. I thought he interviewed. I may be wrong. At least looked at Ohio State.
Yeah, and it turned him into one of the highest paid running back coaches in America. Like,
okay,
I mean, you have to respect that and understand that that's part of the game. Like, it's a business for everybody involved.
Has Bill Beatenbow been in a lot of candidates for other jobs?
No,
I don't know what that comment is. Jay, my point was DeMarco Murray was looking elsewhere last year. That's not a false statement, correct?
Correct. You're right.
Okay, so if I'm looking elsewhere, I'm not in love at where I'm in. That's just a fact, Jay.
Because he did it a year ago,
chasing money somewhere.
Hey, Jerm, I'm with you, Jerm, on a little bit.
Real quick, Jerm. So because it happened a year ago, it means it's still true today?
Well, when today comes out that he's a candidate at Penn State, I'm supposing that it's similar to last year, yes.
And that's what I don't know yet. I'd have to hear a little more info on this situation. But I see where you're coming from, Jerm. If his name's being thrown out there.
And Jay, real quick, I see the comment about DeMarco Murray always on the prowl. It would be one thing if DeMarco Murray was going somewhere and getting $2 million more. Then I could say, well, he still loves the university. He's going places that they probably can't pay as much, or they're going to pay what he's making.
Going anywhere. He hasn't left anywhere.
Yeah, he hasn't.
But looking elsewhere, Jay, looking elsewhere for the same job for the same amount of money is not.
Jeremy, I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
if Penn State reached out to DeMarco Murray and said, "Hey, let's talk. Would you be interested in doing this job and coming to Penn State and leaving OU?" And he said, "No, I'm happy at OU." How does that go against what you're saying? I mean,
Repeat what you just said.
if Penn State says, "Hey, DeMarco, can we talk? I would like to see if you're interested in coming to Penn State," and he says, "Okay, we'll talk, but I'd rather stay at OU," and he decides he's going to stay. How is that saying he's wanting out?
Well, because I think going into this one, Jay, and I may be wrong. Hunter can probably correct me on this. Penn State, going into a job at Penn State, he's got to know he's not going to get tons more money, and it's not a promotion. That's the whole thing. Like, he would be going there and being the running back coach.
Your coach better running back room though.
But Hunter, if it was an OC
That's
job
on
at
him,
Penn
though,
State,
Hunter.
Hunter, if it was an OC job at Penn State, I'm totally with you guys. I'm totally with you at that. It's a running back coach position. And we can agree to disagree, but I see the quote here. DeMarco Murray's building a house right now in Norman. His wife and kids love Norman OU, and DeMarco wants to stay as long as possible at Oklahoma. I get that's what the source said, but if that's true, and it sounds like it is, why are you looking elsewhere?
But okay, we could argue this every day till we're
the term "looking elsewhere." I don't know if that's factual, Jeremy.
So again, I guess it depends on what candidate means. It depends on what candidate means.
If they reach out to you, so Jeremy, real quick, another school district reaches out to you for same position you're currently in. Won't say the specific position, but same position you're in. That doesn't mean you have.
I'm not a candidate unless I say I'm interested, bud. That's how it works. If I fill out an application, I'm a candidate. It means I'm looking to go.
It's a little different in sports.
I disagree, but I don't think we're gonna agree on this, Jerm. So not sure.
Look, in the end, I think part of the deal is it's. I mean, I don't want to get and say too much on it because I don't want. I'm just not going to say too much on it. That's all I'm going to say because I still think there's chances that he's not in Norman next year. That's just me.
I'm nuts. Got a trivia. Shortest would be, I would think it'd be Teddy Lehman for the shortest. Longest, for some reason, I want to say
Trey Brown.
Parnell
Trey Brown
has to be Billy Bowman.
Bowman. That's it.
Bowman's got to be. Yeah.
Has to be BYU. That's it. Bowman and Lehman. That's the correct answer, I think.
Thank you, Brian. That was my point. You said it. You said it better than me, but that's my point.
Correct on Lehman. We'll see if we're correct on the other one. Hey, there's Furkton. Need a head coach, OC, DC, and that's it. Correct on Bowman. There it is. Sooner Surge gets it correct. Between the three of us, we figured it out. It's a good night. Figured it out there. Jerm, I asked a trivia question earlier. You weren't here for it. So what else is on your mind tonight, Jerm?
Really nothing else. I don't know. I see someone talking about we got to get the bracket together this week.
Correct. Yeah.
Other than that, there's not a lot of news, Jay. There just isn't. I mean, this was pretty big news. I don't think people thought Penn State and DeMarco Murray was going to be in the same conversation.
No, but it sounds like they're going to probably hire Stan Drayton, which is a great hire.
Yeah,
and Jay, I'm not going to say this either, but if it was between DeMarco Murray and Stan Drayton, Penn State got the right guy.
Well, yeah, Stan Drayton.
So, at that point, it's easy for someone to say, yeah, I'm happy at OU.
Hey, I mean, Stan Drayton's a good coach. He's a really good running.
I agree, Jay.
I'm not says it's a good thing when there's no news.
Oh, absolutely. In the
no news is good news.
In the off-season time of it's winter workouts, you're not into spring football yet, and transfer portal isn't open. You don't really want news unless it's about a coach that fans don't like leaving or something like that.
Hey,
other than that, you don't want any sort of headline.
The next news you're going to hear at Oklahoma is what they're going to do for this. The spring game stuff around the nation is kind of starting to take off on what teams are going to do. I know KB dropped it in the Discord earlier today about Texas and kind of what they might do for the spring game. Spring games are changing. They just are, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to be the same. I've already said my opinion on what I would like for them to do. Play somebody else. Don't scrimmage your own team.
It's not going to happen, John.
I know it's not right now, but down the road, you could figure a way to make that.
Down the road, it would have already happened.
You could figure it out, Hunter.
I disagree.
Hunter, answer me this. How come high school can do it and NFL can do it, but college can't? Please answer that for me.
Wait, what? How does the NFL do it?
They do practice sessions against other teams all the time.
Yeah, that's part of their preseason schedule.
Okay.
No, but joint practices with a little bit of scrimmaging is a part of their.
So why can't you do it in college, Hunter?
Real quick, it's a part of the quote-unquote 20-game season. You have 3 preseason games, and you have 17
I don't care
regular.
about that. You could do something for the spring is all I'm saying. You could figure a way to do it if you really wanted to.
It's never going to happen.
Hey,
it probably isn't, but
It's not worth the travel cost for it.
Hey, who's been standing out in winter workouts? I know one name is R. Mason Thomas. Danny Okoye and two edge guys have really been standing out.
Danny Okoye a couple days ago, maybe it was a week ago now, posted
Instagram post.
Yeah,
that was longer than it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
And
it was. He marked out every other name, but he had the fastest time,
and it got taken down pretty quickly.
It did, yes.
I don't think anybody wanted to know that. Yeah, he's a freak.
I mean, he did do right by marking out everyone else's name and just left his up there, but it was up there, and I think by quite a good margin.
I believe that was a 10-cone drill.
I can't remember. It was like 18 point something seconds. So yeah, that sounds like it would be 10-cone.
Now this is a great idea. I'm nuts says flag football game against fans for the spring. I would love to be a part of that game.
That would get ugly.
Hey, Jay, speaking of that, Jay and I played flag football tournament in Catoosa, and we played against an OU player, Dominique Franks. And
Dominique Franks, yeah.
I think we're in the finals of that tournament, Jay.
Yeah, until he cooked you a few times.
Hey, Sooner Cowboy says Murray is gone. I think what the deal is Murray was trying to get out, but OU said no. You got to take Joe John with you, and Penn State backed out.
Hey, Lane says your backups are better than JUCO or D2. I agree with you, but it's not the same, I don't think, in the spring game when you play your own team. I just don't think the competitiveness is there. I mean, there's all this other extra stuff you're doing. It's just not the same, in my opinion, but whatever. Would be a lot of ACLs lost that day. Yeah, with fans, for sure. I would be one of them.
Yeah, it would be you need to have full medical staff, stretchers, all that good stuff on board if you're going to try something like that.
That's right. Big game tomorrow for Oklahoma basketball. OU basketball on the road at Missouri.
Must win, Hunter says. Must win.
It's a game where OU assistant coach is going up against his brother, who's the head coach from Missouri. Great storyline, and he's doing a great job at Missouri. It's probably going to be a loss, as Ron says. I don't expect them to win, but it would be a great steal if they could get it. They need to win one of these on the road. They're going to have to steal something. Daniel says, I don't think they would scrimmage against a D2 or JUCO because those guys would be out there trying to prove something, and I don't think the coaches would want to risk it. And you're right about that. You're right. I mean, I think it's more of me as a fan wanting to see it. Stop. OU men's basketball's done. Done.
Season's not over yet, but if they continue on the trajectory that they're on right now, it's probably not going to end well. Probably going to miss the tournament at that point. But, I mean, there's still games on the schedule that Oklahoma could win, and that would be enough to get them into the tournament.
I was going to ask Jen, I don't know if you already have, how the surgery went. Hope everything went well.
Yeah, I hope everything went good, Jen. Prayers for you. Hope everything's good. Broke my pinky last flag football game. Wow. Not good, Teresa. We never really, well, we probably shouldn't. I was going to say, never mind. I'm not going to talk about flag football. I think you know where I'm going with this, but I I was interested to see what y'all thought about the commercial on Super Bowl.
Hey, I'm nuts. This is why I said it 3 days ago, and I'll say it every night until the rest of the year on the live if I need to. When you don't have any for sure guaranteed win, all games are must wins. Let that sit on your mind for a little while. If no games are guaranteed, all games are must wins. Let that one sip on your mind.
Okay,
Kentucky beat Tennessee for the second time this year.
Exactly, Jay. You know why? They win home games when they matter. They win games that matter.
Man, the SEC, they're saying 13 teams make it in. 13 out
of 16 and OU doesn't make it.
You know what's crazy? Hear me out on this. It's very possible, as we sit tonight on whatever date this is, that the NCAA tournament, the first year with OU and Texas and the SEC, that 13 of the 16 could get in and neither one could be OU Texas.
I disagree. If 13 get in, there's a good chance at least one of OU.
Well, South Carolina is not getting in.
South Carolina, LSU are the two that are not getting in for sure.
Arkansas.
And then Arkansas is your third one that's probably not getting in.
I think Arkansas has a better chance right now. They're playing a lot better than OU.
I think they only get 11 in. I don't think Texas and OU make it.
It's going to come down to the last game of the year, OU Texas. Well, it's going to come down to OU Texas and Austin.
And OU hasn't been able to beat Texas a lot.
But it's going to come down to that game.
I think
it down. It will.
I think it's going to go down to where they're probably sitting at before that game, 6 conference wins.
I think so too, Hunter.
That 7th, and for whatever reason, they cannot beat Texas. I don't get it. It's not like these Texas teams last couple of years have been earth-shattering teams. They've been games that OU really should have won. They haven't been able to.
918 says more likely Joe John Finley or Moser coaching at OU next year. I think Joe John Finley is coaching at OU next year. So I guess it'll be Moser. So only good porter's a steak, as Devin says. Golly, that's a funny comment, Fergton. Daniel says, I do think they need to work on the atmosphere, either remodel. Yeah, something's got to be done. It's bad.
There's nothing they can really do.
It starts with students, Hunter. It starts with you guys.
Yeah. There's nothing they can really do to fix the LNC. I mean, it doesn't
matter.
Yeah, the hope has to be that if the Rock Creek Entertainment District goes to a vote, that the citizens of Norman vote
it
for
won't matter. It won't matter. Go watch Creighton tonight. You know what half the arena is? Students.
Yeah.
OU students will not show up to basketball. I don't care if you build a new arena, Hunter. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it would help.
It won't happen.
But
hey, Jay, you know what would help? And I'm not trying to promote. Look, I love my job. Okay. Absolutely love it. But I'd do a part-time gig. I'll go in there and get on the PA system. I think I could get some people up out their seats.
You want to talk about cringe. That's what that would be, Jerem. It'd be cringy.
Yeah, it would be cringe. But and Zias, you're right. Free tickets to students. They're free. You just got to go to the game. They don't. They're not going to.
The only way that they would start getting students to show up more, and they've done everything right, Jay, as you're alluding to. Free tickets. They're trying. Yeah, he's done everything. The only way they would do it is if they did free alcoholic beverages to people of age, and that won't happen.
Wait, if they've done everything right, why aren't students showing up, Hunter? Answer that one.
I don't know the answer, Jerm. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Why don't you? Is it people are too busy? Like what?
I don't know. Why are you saying you?
I'm asking you.
I can't speak for students. I can only speak for myself, but
that's why I asked you.
I go to games when I can, Jerm. Like if I'm not working or whatever, not busy with something else. But again, it's the student body as a whole for whatever reason. I don't get it. They show up once a year, the first big game of the year, and if OU loses that game, they're not going to show up again.
Yeah, and I see what Daniel's saying here because I went to 7 games that year. I drove to 7 games during the Buddies senior year, and the students were better, but it still wasn't filled with – the arena wasn't filled with a ton of students. It was like all the other people. I just think basketball, OU basketball and students, you have that one little section that they sit in, and that's about it. It's not like some of these other arenas where you're like, wow. I mean, that place is full of students.
You're right, though. Hunter's right. Unless they win or have just some player, they're just not going to have people.
You want to talk about the most important game of the year for Oklahoma? It's the first ranked home game.
It doesn't matter.
And they have to win it. And then there's a chance.
Didn't they do that this year?
What?
Didn't they win their first home game that was ranked?
No, they blew an 18-point lead.
But the crowd wasn't good.
Crowd sucked.
Students weren't back yet. And then after that, the next one. No, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. The semester wasn't in session. That's not students' fault. I mean, just how the schedules align. The next one was the rivalry game, 9:00 tip. People still showed up.
Listen, I talked to students who whined about it being at 9:00. Whined about it. College students.
I can understand.
And it was too late.
I can understand.
College students said it was too late.
I mean, again, they showed up for that game. Then OU was down about 20 in the first half. They ended up losing that game despite the comeback. And from that point on, everyone is really, from a student standpoint, given up on the team, and they're probably not going to show up the rest of the year.
And by the way, I see a lot of comments. One and done, transfer portal, all of it's made it worse. Then why are every other arena selling out?
Yeah, I don't. Jay, I wish I could give you the answer. I wish I could. I don't know the answer. It doesn't make sense to me.
Next thing you're going to hear is that OU style of play isn't very good. Well, go ask Houston and Kelvin Sampson how their style of play is. I mean, they pack that arena out, okay?
And what I really don't understand about all of it, Jay, is I think you look, especially at freshmen, a year ago, they were in high school. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they were probably at every big high school sporting event. Football, everyone's at football. Basketball if they're a basketball school, or baseball if they're a baseball school. Probably basketball in general. That's a sport that usually creates good fan engagement and all that.
But
I don't know the answer. It's weird. I don't get it.
You said the answer, Hunter. You already said it, and you're right. Football will always be king, and that's fine. But the other sports like softball and gymnastics, they have great crowds because they're winning. Period.
It's not just about winning.
Real quick, they have great crowds because they're winning. You're right on that. Student involvement still isn't great, especially in softball. It's a completely different fan base. You know, I think for a good portion of gymnastics is as well.
So in general, are you just saying students suck? That's pretty much what it is. Because football, they weren't great either.
I don't. Yeah, they weren't. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me because I think every high school people are coming from, they're going from high schools that are generating great high school crowds and student sections and all that. I mean, if we're going to go down the route, is OU really just bringing in all the students that they bring in are the ones from every high school in America that don't give a rip about sports and don't, because
Hunter,
from a statistical standpoint, like that's highly unlikely that's the case. Like
I hit the nail on the head.
I don't know the answer. It doesn't make any sense to me. I understand why people are frustrated with it. It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing OU can really do to try to fix it. I mean, they do everything you can ask because just about every other major college in America, you're not getting into basketball for free. You have to pay
No,
money.
you're not.
Yeah,
And
you do. And I got to say something real quick. I'm nuts. That's a nuts statement. Kobe or LeBron, two of the greatest players in the history of basketball, is the only way that they're going to pack the LNC. Let's come on now.
He might
Hunter,
be right on that. I don't think
Hunter,
that's wild.
He may be right, but that's ridiculous.
Hey.
The only way you're going to pack is you give me LeBron or Kobe or MJ.
It is ridiculous, but it might be true. Like, I don't get it. I do not understand.
But even then it wouldn't, Jay. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I went to high school games with Hunter. And this is what I'm going to say right now. And I think this is facts, 100% truth. Take it to the bank.
Of course you do. It's coming from your mouth.
And I'm going to tell you why. When we went to high school games, Hunter and maybe 5 other students are the only ones who even knew anything about the game. And when you go to college basketball, most students don't even know anything about the game. They're there just to be socializing with their friends. They don't even know. We don't have true students who actually know the games of sports anymore. It's ridiculous.
I think that's also just a Sepulpa issue, Jeremy. I've been to.
It's an issue at football games at OU, Hunter. They don't know what to cheer. They don't know.
But I'm saying from a high school standpoint.
I'm talking about college. Why are people cheering when OU has the ball on 3rd down and getting loud?
Why is the band playing when OU's playing bad? I don't know.
Thank you. That's my point. There's not enough people who know sports.
Hey, Daniel, I think Daniel's right to a sense here. And I don't know if it would work, though. I don't know if it would bring in the crowd, but it wouldn't hurt to have a new arena, and it wouldn't hurt the student experience. So, but who knows, man? It's been a good live, man. It's been lively tonight. Ended on some basketball talk as we did last night. So big game tomorrow for Oklahoma. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you check out the Fan Stop. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but check out the Fan Stop, www.thefanstop.com. Code Surge, you'll get 10% off your first 3 months. There's the shirt of the month for March. Make sure you sign up by February 20th to get that. It's been a great night, a great Tuesday. We will see everybody tomorrow night, 9:30. See you then.